Hey everyone, this is Amaya Tala and I help people flourish in life. So, are you finally done with dealing with people's shit? I know I am. Well, not completely. I mean, I still love people, but I think in this like work that we do, the more that I do it, the more I realize the importance of values and principles. And it's really about the way you see it. It's not that you hate people or you want to hurt people. That's a very different, area. It's more of like recognizing this power or this strength that you trust in the values that are important for humanity. When you value respect, when you value equality or equity, when you value giving and sharing and receiving and the highest well-being of all, the more you strengthen your connection with that, there comes a point where you're just done with dealing with anything otherwise. Because you know that it's not good for other people. You know that it's hurting people. And when you become very when it becomes almost like your life, whenever, oh, two cardinals playing, oh my God, that's beautiful, sorry. Three. Okay, I got sidetracked with that one. Thank you for your messages. Thank you for your presence. When that becomes your life, that you advocate for the welfare of humanity, when something comes up, a situation or a person who is neglecting and ignoring that, whether they intentionally know it or not, or maybe it's just autopilot. A lot of people do those things because that's what they're used to doing, that's what they see on TV, that's what they're conditioned to do, and I understand that. That's why we need compassion, and I'm going to talk about that more later in this video. But but then when you come across these people, especially when you're still new in this kind of transformation, it does pisses you off more. It does irritate you more. It tends to just kind of like you're not dealing with that anymore kind of energy, because you're beyond that, and you probably don't want that in your space. You don't want that in the community work that you do, whatever you're doing. It's like it's almost not tolerable anymore. And when we're shifting to this 5D earth, if you've heard about it, it's more of like earth that is more I think heart aligned or heart based or something. It's more like people are more connected and to the divine and high vibrational, more positive vibrations. When we're shifting to that, the kind of energies that don't respect that and don't fit that, it's kind of like it just doesn't resonate anymore. It feels very discordant. It feels very, and the more it becomes amplified, the more they get like so irritating, because it's like it doesn't jive with you. It's kind of like a screech, like when you're screeching a metal, like it sounds like that. And it's interesting because before, like maybe 5 years ago, it doesn't really, it bothers me, but it's not, it's like, it's just part of life. And it's like, okay, yeah, I'm depressed, but it's like, fine. But now it's like, it's so intolerable. Like, and for those of you who have been watching me, my journey, one of the things that I've been working on is speaking up. And before I would speak up, and then the more and more I speak up, but there's shyness, and like there's like, okay, I don't really need to, if I don't want to, but I feel like it. But now, because it's so intolerable, and it's so like, this is not like what I'm about. When I see something, most likely I want to say something about it. Like, I'm gonna like, tell you like it is if I have to. Not all the time. Like, there are times when I know I need to just be quiet and be patient. But then when I have to, I will. And you know, and with that, I do want to get into more of like the dynamics of that, like, you know, the details of that for you. So I want to start with, you know, for you just to understand and understand this energetically, is to talk about dense energies. The way that I see physical and I guess spiritual energy, I feel like they're in a spectrum, and like the physical energy, in a way you can look at it like that. The physical energy is like a dense accumulation of spiritual energy. At least that's one way I see it. It's not probably like that all the time, but and so it's like this accumulation of energy that becomes manifested into dense energy that we can actually touch, feel, taste, you know, with our five senses physically. And so when they become manifested like that, they can really, really hurt. Like if you know, if you get hit by a car, like that's really gonna hurt. And so it's that's why I feel like living on earth is a little bit more challenging, because we deal with these very, very dense energies, and they take time to accumulate, and they also take time to break down depending on the situation, unless it's a tower moment, which is what I love about tower moments. If you know about tarot, you know tower moments, they break down things so easily, like it's so efficient. That's why I love them. But anyway, what's not comfortable. So, you know, with these lower vibrational energies, you know, negative energies, I feel like they're accumulation of conditionings, thought forms, feelings that have been accumulated, and now where a lot of people are manifesting through their actions, and they hurt people, they hurt other people, and so it's not something to be taken lightly, like something that you can just ignore when people are being disrespectful, because that's real energy right there, especially if they mess with your work, they mess with your health, they mess with your sanity. Like those are real experiences. And a lot of that, you know, when people talk about gaslighting, ghosting, and everything, those are real things that people feel physically. Emotions are physical experiences. And so, and a lot of traumas and wounds come from that kind of manifestation of dense energies, and we intake them through our senses, our eyes, our brain, and then we sometimes manifest them into our bodies, the way we process them, that could lead into sickness. And so, you know, these dense energies are real. And when you are a light worker, someone who's becoming more awakened, and you realize how much you've accumulated in your body, and you release these things, you and then you realize who you are, you realize your sacred power, your connection to the divine, your sacred responsibilities, and and how good it feels to be closer to that. You're healing the wounds that these hurtful, dense energies have put in you, and you're replacing them with energies that are loving, that has a intention that's more for the well-being of others. And so you hold the values. Who you are is comprised is with values, your principles, your just sacred uniqueness and sacred gifts. And you realize that more, you hold that more. And the more you hold that, the more obviously it's going to ripple out, especially if you consciously, if you are in your purpose and you're doing that in your community, it ripples out. And it does trigger other energies around you that are not at the same frequency, and they can, resist and kind of like attack back or something like that. And when that happens, that's when you will experience this kind of like, I'm not dealing with that shit, I'm done with that shit. And I want to let you know that that's normal in case you're going through this. That's why I'm recording this video, because I want people to be equipped and skilled in this journey as a light worker, or just a good human being in this planet. And that's the service I would like to give to all of you. And so that's normal. That's what happens, right? Now let's go to the tips and guidance. How to handle that is related to just what I explained. Is when you're stepping into your power, and I did record a tarot reading about this, when you step into your power, you realize that you hold this power to manage energy, I guess, or manage your own energy, at least within yourself. And so, and that usually translate into a physical form depending on your actions, your thoughts, and what you communicate and things like that. So it's important to recognize our responsibility in stewarding that energy that we have. So our intention is very important to know where we're coming from, because when you hold certain energies, which everyone holds, every human being, every being has a certain energy that's allotted to them or given to them. It's very important that we use it for the right reasons. Other people use it for revenge, which is not a good thing, because you end up hurting people and you're just repeating that cycle to other people, and it hurts other people, and then the more they get hurt, they hurt other people, and we all get hurt. So not really a good idea if that's not what you want. Although it's a free world, you know, the universe, you can do what you want, but obviously you get the consequences too. But if you want the highest well-being of all, you would need to be really intentional with how you use your energy. So with the energy that you have, it's either, there's many things you can do when you're pissed off and irritated. Obviously, first you can do healing, you can meditate, you can kind of just calm yourself down and learn how to be like clear in the middle of like rough waters like that. Second of all, you can assess the situation more clearly, because if you're not triggered, you'll be able to see the situation for what it is more clearly, and you'll see what the situation needs. Sometimes the situation needs for you to just speak up. Sometimes the situation needs for you to be patient and quiet. Sometimes the situation needs for you to teach people, or sometimes the situation needs that you need to go and just leave the situation. So you will have more of that discernment when you are healed and calmer. So it starts with healing. And when it comes to, like, for example, when you feel like the situation calls for action, like speaking up, that's when you use that energy from a good intention. So if you're speaking because you want to uphold a principle and a value, then it will come across as that. Just trust that it will come across as that if you feel like that's really your intention, and your intentions is not to hurt. It may look like it from their perspective, from other people's perspective, because they have these expectations and assumptions about other people's actions and projections, and it's okay. If they get back at you and they think that you're hurting them, it's not your problem. I say to my friend, and I don't know if other people have said this, that other people's responses are not your responsibility. Really, your responsibility is your own response. If it's coming from a place where you're upholding a value, or you have a goal of seeing other people in their best selves, and you don't like to, like, your intention is not to hurt people, then it will come across like that. Now, intention setting is a little, if you're new to that and if you're not really aware of that, it is a skill. And I do teach that. If you are interested, I do have my one-on-ones and tending circles. But for this video, if you're really coming from that good intention, it will come across as that. couple that obviously with practice so that you learn from your mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. And the more you become comfortable and you become confident in your own what you stand for, who you are, and you know you're not shit. At least you try. You know, we don't need to be perfect. No one's perfect. It's okay. But for the most part, if you're really working on that and you gain the confidence to trust in your own self's discernment that you're coming from a good place and that you love yourself also regardless, then dealing with other people's shit is gonna be more navigational for you. Like, you can navigate it more effectively and efficiently. But the other piece of this also is to be detached from the outcome. Like, we cannot really force people to change if they don't want it. The best thing we can do is just do our part. So if the situation doesn't go well or people don't change, it's okay. You did your part. And you don't need to deal with that shit for the rest of your life. You can just go and live your life with people who bring you goodness and fresh air and a good life because they love you and care about you. You know? And then the next time people with shit go around you, just do your responsibility, do your part. But I don't think you need to stay there. At least that's my opinion. Right? So yeah, those are the tips and guidance if you are going through this. And I do have a list here. Yeah, another way to look at this when people are around you bothering you and, you know, irritating you, this is actually the spots on earth that needs healing. So it's good to face them head on and plant the seeds that need to be planted. So for example, if someone's like trying, like low vibrational energy that's trying to, I don't know, mess up with you, then that's a good opportunity to deal with that energy and plant the seed at least. However that looks. Maybe you speak up or say something or just ignore whatever that looks to you. So if you look at it that way, then it's not gonna be too daunting, or it's not gonna be too like unnerving for you. And yeah, when you're able to heal this within yourself, and people are able to heal this type of negative dense energy within themselves and release it, then we will be able to create a beautiful world. We will be able to harness that energy to create something beautiful because we're not using it to hurt people. And I think that's ultimately what the divine wants. Honestly, is to unlearn this conditioning that we have that makes us think that we need to hurt people and we need to ignore people and we need to cancel people and we need to be like this and like cool, you know, hurt people to look cool. We need to unlearn that. And when you start that with yourself and you show that to other people and plant the seed to other people from the right intention, then you're helping with that. Let me see. It's also an opportunity to grow as well. You know, I feel like the journey in general on earth is a growth journey. So, you know, whenever you feel irritated by other people or situations, it's an opportunity to grow and also show yourself how strong you are and how loving and kind you are and how you love yourself and how confident you are, and just see that beauty in that. So it's not always going to be bad. There's always something beautiful that you can look at as well. Let me see. Yeah, I want to remind you that you're the sane one. Because most of the time when these things happen, a lot of people are really good at turning it back at you, like you're insane or something because you're not playing with the script that they have. Check with your heart If you're Nordic aligned and you're doing your healing, you're the sane one. And just anchor that light and strength and sanity in the situation that you're in. And I feel like also this is where I'm probably going to make another video about this. This is where healthy ego is actually good, because we can healthy, I feel like ego in a way, if it's at the right level where you're also valuing your own, you're selfish a little bit to value your own self and your principles and values. It's good to have that and to have confidence in that, because you'll be able to bring that principle and values to the spaces that you go into. And in the days today, we need people like that to uphold those values, to speak up about those values. And you know, that's why a lot of people who has been destroying the planet are able to do what they're doing, is because a lot of us who are upholding these values are scared or ignore it, or they just don't want to deal with it. But you know, if you really want to make a difference in this world, we do need a little confidence and healthy ego to be able to at least communicate that forward. And embodying the mountains, you know, the mountains are really good at just standing their ground, and they know who they are, they know their place in this world, and they allow flourishing of a lot of beings, creatures on this earth, by being bold. And yeah, I think the last thing I want to say, this is just a bonus extra. I feel like when I did record another video about this, but a little boldness and a little feistiness actually is pretty cool sometimes, because it helps communicate the message sometimes to people who are low vibrational, because they can relate more to that. But I have that in another video, and I'll put it up here if I remember. And yeah, overall, that's what I wanted to communicate to you all. If you're going through this, it's okay, and you can develop the skills to navigate it. And I do one-on-ones and tending circles if you're interested to hone this skill more and get to know about this kind of dynamic and journey more, and be good at it and be balanced. I do teach that, and you're welcome in my space, so that you will flourish and blossom, and the whole world and community will flourish and blossom with you. So that's it for me for today. Thank you for tuning in. I'll be with you again next time. I hope you have a lot of wonderful present moments. Till next time, blessings and namaste. Bye.